funny thing happened earlier today when I was going through trying to respond to a lot of tweets and YouTube comments and, looking through the DMs to make sure I caught up on everything. It's just one of those things where it's funny how so much time is spent reviewing Sistas, and it's the show about the 4 women, not counting Fatima because I don't consider her a true sister. I find myself rooting more for the men than the women, despite the women being the quote-unquote main characters. And to be honest, it isn't just because I'm a guy. I mean, that's what Bruh is for. It's like that's a male-driven show. But in both Bruh and in Sisters, I find myself cheering on the male characters more than the female characters, due to the fact that if you just look at the basketball court scene in this week's episode of Sisters, or a majority of season 2 of Bruh, the male characters, for the most part, yeah, they might butt heads from time to time, but they usually don't hold on to grudges like the female characters. That's not to say men don't hold grudges and females do. It's just that based on the way they're being depicted in the shows and in real life to an extent, yeah, that's how it goes. It's just, that's why I wanted to do this video, because one of my tweets that got a lot of attention on Wednesday night was about, wow, Andy has a guy who owned an entire law firm, different offices, in the UK and in America. And now you got Sabrina being, pursued by a man who owns a restaurant chain, a bio, who we know is an African prince, by the way. But it's just one of those things where, yeah, it's cool. And I noticed some people like, yeah, look at these women leveling up and whatnot. And the thing about it was, I was kind of praising Tyler Perry about how, wow, in this episode alone, we revealed that Gary is a hedge fund manager, and we know that Zach's winning at stocks, and Robin owns, law firms and whatnot, and Bio owns a restaurant chain and this and that. So to see black men winning, being successful, it's just great to see, black men written in such a way. But the thing about that is, and it's crazy, and I mean, heck, we know Preston's family's pretty well off too, just throwing that out there, and Aaron has money as well. But anyway, it's just interesting to me how, for some reason, it's considered fair, or, well, people cheer when it comes to the women being able to quote unquote upgrade their lives because they're being pursued by men who have a lot. And in a lot of these cases, whether it be Sabrina or Andy, you have them juggling multiple men at one time instead of, focusing on one. Typically, the man they're focused on is the one that's a relationship. And keep in mind, none of these characters outside of Zach and Fatima are even in a relationship. Andy and Gary were having an affair up until the point he got divorced. And then, he proposed to her. And then the engagement was broke off. And apparently they're broken up right now. Her and Paris, had sex once. Her and Robin have this weird thing going on where Andy wants to take it slow, engage the situation. To be honest, I don't think that's a bad idea, but she just needs to cut ties with the whole Gary thing altogether, because that was like a 6+ month affair before he even got a divorce. Karen and Zach were in an on-again, off-again relationship. Her and Aaron have never been in an official relationship. Never. Danny and Preston, never a couple, never boyfriend, girlfriend at all. Calvin wanted to be exclusive, to be in a relationship with Sabrina in, early to mid-season 2, but she didn't want to be. However, it seemed that she really only said no because I think it was Danny who called her in the middle of their night together, Calvin and Sabrina. She went to the restroom, and that's when Danny said she heard from this dude at the club that Calvin does drugs or something in the bathroom. And that's when Sabrina decided not to, which led to the whole tricking him into getting a drug test and all this other bull crap. So those two have never been in a relationship. And I think that's it, right? Yeah. Danny, Preston, Calvin, Sabrina, Andy, Gary, Karen, Zach, Aaron. Yeah, that about does it. But it's funny how the women are able to just juggle around men and I mentioned this earlier, probably last week or so. I saw somebody mention this on Twitter. Yeah, it's interesting how the women say that they love these men or they have strong feelings for these men. But when Danny is pissed off by Preston or Gary pisses off Andy, these women are quick to call up another guy. Like Preston was on a date with Tanya. What did she do? Or what did Danny do? She instantly called El Fuego and they had a night together. Season 3 was just Andy. Oh my God. Anytime Gary wouldn't rise up to the occasion, and I'm not even talking sex, when she would come into the apartment raising hell to start some drama because she gets off on that. And Gary was calm. It's like, look, I'm talking to my therapist. I'm chill. I'm not adding to your drama that you're trying to start. What would she do? Get pissed off, throw a fit, and then instantly go to Robin's apartment. A hotel room or whatnot. Sabrina, what was it? She got pissed off at her and Calvin had that quote unquote fight in the bank. And she ended up calling Jacoby for that booty call. And then from there you had, Karen is just, I don't even know. Let's not even start with that. Aaron is just her whipping boy, so to speak. So it's interesting how these women can juggle these men around, while they decide if they're ready to get in a relationship or not. And most of them aren't even ready for a relationship, let alone facing their own insecurities and indecisiveness. But when the men decide to step away and it's like, you know what, like Preston's like, you know what, Danny, this isn't going to work out because, hell, I caught you with 2 other men already. And he decides to go out with somebody else to try something different. And one date. We know in the promo for next week, one date, and it seems like him and Tanya are just clicking just fine. Zach decided to move on from Karen because it was the best thing for him, because she had at least 3 to 4 moments in season 1 and 2 where she literally sat him down and said, you gotta move out. I'm leaving you. I'm going to see how things go with Aaron. And in none of those situations, when Zach was the one begging Karen to stay or let him stay, never did she said, I need you to tell me you're over me so I can move on. No, she moved on. She went on with Aaron. So Gary in last season, when he kept saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to move out. I'm going to do this. I'm in therapy. I'm doing better. I'm about to do that. And he's actually doing better than he was before. What did Andy do? She got pissed off. But let's talk. Yeah, Zach with Fatima, Preston with Tanya. Whenever these men decide, you know what? Me and you have been doing this like 2-step for too long. We aren't going anywhere. All we do is fight. You're interested in another guy. You're doing this. You're doing that. Why is it when the men try to step away from those toxic scenarios to do better for themselves, and more often than not cases, they find somebody who's actually a better fit for them, why do the women get pissed off like they have the right to be mad? You're the one who decided to sleep with another man. You're the one who was playing games the entire time. You're the one that told the man to jump 3 times, and when he jumped 3 times, you got mad because you felt like he didn't jump far enough for you. Especially when it comes to like Danny and Preston. So I just really can't fathom the fact that the women just gleeful. This is the equivalent of in real life when, let's just talk celebrities, because celebrity divorces are the things that everybody, keeps tabs on. Like whenever, a famous man gets a divorce or whatever, why is it when the woman gets half or they demand a bunch of money, the women cheer, or get spousal support? Yeah, that's right. Take him for everything he has. But when the tables are reversed and it's the famous woman who's getting a divorce and her husband's the one who wants like a percentage or a spousal support, no, man, no, you better not, you don't take that woman's money. She don't owe you anything. It's just like, what do they call it? Gender equality or gender bias or whatever. What's it called? Double standard. It's like Gary, he's cheating on Andy. He's a dog. But what do you call it when Andy was sleeping with Robin? When she was a quote unquote still in love with Gary. Hell, I love when Fatima called her out for that. It's like, wait, how are you in love with Gary, but you were doing what you were doing with Robin? It's complicated. So when it's just like Jada Pinkett with the whole entanglement, it's like you could quote unquote explain it away as a healing process. But if it was Will who was on the other side of that discussion at the red table, he would have been, quote unquote, like crucified by everybody in the media and whatnot. So it's just interesting to me how these women just feed off of drama. It's like you have multiple men at your fingertips, But when one of them decides I'm not feeling this situation, there's nothing positive for either of us if I stay here. I'm looking for a long-term relationship with trust, less drama, communication, and compatibility. Why is that man all of a sudden the villain? So my thing is, even though it's cool to see Bio and Robin, these new characters introduced for the women, well, a couple of the women to interact with, I'd rather them move forward with these men. I'm not even saying Sabrina needs to end up with Bio or Andy needs to end up with Robin, but I'd much rather see them try to pursue something. Basically, try to pursue what they were with Gary or Calvin with other men, because we're in season 4. I don't think the show is going to lose steam or end anytime soon. So let's kind of mix it up. But yeah, I'm glad to see Gary's interacting with Zach, and we got Preston interacting with Karen, just kind of mixing up the character dynamics to really spice things up. But yeah, I just don't understand how Danny feels like she has the right to be mad at Preston. And it's like, well, I thought we were trying to fix this to work this out. First of all, Danny, you clearly see Preston's on a date. Secondly, earlier that same day, he caught you after you had sex with another man. It's over. Let it go. And I know in the promo, for some reason, Preston's telling Karen to call Danny to let her know that he's at the salon. I don't really know what that's about, but like I said, I haven't seen the full promo yet. But once I do, I guess I might have, some thoughts on it. But it's just crazy to me how things are turning out. But, we're only 4 episodes into season 4. Maybe things will, increase in terms of quality. Well, no, I wouldn't even say quality. Like I said, we're only 4 episodes in, and I'm really enjoying season 4 a lot more than season 3. So just let me know, what do you think? How do you feel about the women being able to, quote unquote, upgrade their lives by, interacting with these men who have a lot, but at the same time, they really aren't committing to them? They only keep these men around for as long as they need them for their satisfaction, because that's really one of the running themes of these women. They usually have a man in their back pocket whenever their main man doesn't, give them what they want. It's like, oh, so-and-so pissed me off, let me call up this person for a night out. And then when the other guy gets like attached, like, so are we official? Do you want to go on a date? No. It's kind of like what Jeffrey did to Landon, Justin, and basically almost every guy he had sex with in the haves and the have-nots. Oh, Madison too. So thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure you leave your thoughts below. Hit the thumbs up button to show you like the video. Hit subscribe as we move forward to 200,000 subscribers here on the channel. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description. Hit the bell icon and select all. That way you don't miss out whenever I post content on the channel. And if you would like to donate, feel free to do so on PayPal or Cash App.